This is my third video on a Ubisoft related topic. That's never really a good sign, is it? Despite the state of current day Ubisoft and their absolutely baffling output.
That guy got hit in the head with a coconut!
Okay, who let them cook?
Come here, you. It's raw. It's...
Ubisoft has made some of my favorite games, including, but not limited to, the 3D Prince of Persia games, the Rayman games, classic Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, and the king and the GOAT above them all, Splinter Cell. Out of all of their IPs, Splinter Cell has to be one of the most consistently good, with all of their major titles being at best masterpieces and at worst misguided, all being frontlined by one of the best gaming protagonists of all time, Samuel Leo Sam Fisher, in his iconic bifocal goggles. Being voice acted by one of the best voice actors in the biz, Michael Ironside, who is Sam Fisher with no questions asked.
Are you gonna say monkey?
What? No!
Then this conversation is over.
And actually helped develop Sam Fisher into a more three-dimensional character. Sam Fisher is the definition of cool, and with his legendary status, it brings up the question, why hasn't there been a movie or a TV show about it? It's definitely rich for it, and there have been plenty of Jack Ryan and Rainbow Six projects before, so why not Splinter Cell? Which leads us to Netflix's and Ubisoft's latest attempt to adapt a classic gaming franchise with Splinter Cell Deathwatch. Now, this is not the first time that Ubisoft has attempted to get Sam Fisher off the ground and onto the big screen. Now, if you had the collector's edition of Splinter Cell Chaos Theory back in the day, in 2004, you would notice that if you went into the extras section, you could see a teaser for the Splinter Cell movie.
You've entered his world. You've played the games, but you won't know the whole story until you've seen the movie. Paramount Pictures presents Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, the movie. Coming soon, only to theaters.
Which honestly at the time looked pretty cool. Tom Clancy movies had a good reputation in the 90s and 2000s, so getting a Splinter Cell movie was a really cool idea. Peter Berg was even going to direct the movie, and it was going to be written by J.T. Petty, which if you didn't know, he was responsible for the writing of Fisher's first two tales, Splinter Cell and Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Doesn't that just sound amazing?
Oh my.
But alas, we were playing with Chaos Theory. Both J.T. Petty and Peter Berg left the project around 2005, and production of the film shifted from Paramount Pictures to DreamWorks Studios, and then Viacom, who owned Paramount and then bought DreamWorks. It wasn't until 2012 where we got an update from the big man Tom Hardy, who would be playing Sam Fisher.
You're a big guy.
For you.
We also learned that Eric Singer would be penning the film, and that it would be produced by a man named Basil Iwanaki. Man, I really hope I got that name right. Through his production company called Thunder Road. Then in 2014, Doug Liman was in talks to direct the film, and another French dude was going to produce it again. Sheldon Turner would write a new draft, and it was confirmed to feature a younger Sam Fisher, possibly an origin story.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Tom Hardy then confirmed in 2015 that the movie would start filming in 2016 and that it would be released in 2017. All looks good until, plot twist, Basil Iwanaki told us Fisherites in 2024 that, nah, this film ain't happening, bruh.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up.
Did all that make sense? And no, the voices in your head are supposed to be there.
Get out of my brain!
Okay, the movie was a flop, but there were other attempts to bring Sam Fisher to movies or television. Like, for example, some amazing fan films that are absolutely worth a watch. We, of course, also had books that were based on the game series, but were not directly canonized in the games. We also got Sam Fisher in that Andy Sinclair Ubisoft show, and we did get Sam in some other material with Rainbow Six Siege. But when would Splinter Cell and Sam Fisher get a show of their own? Something that screams Splinter Cell. When would that actually materialize? Well, be careful what you wish for, because Ubisoft is always listening, except when it comes to giving updates on Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, seriously, Ubisoft, where is that game? Is it alright? This of course brings us to current day Ubisoft with Splinter Cell Deathwatch, an anime that takes place after the events of Splinter Cell Blacklist. In a recent interview with GameSpot, the show's creator Derek Kolstad, who was also responsible for the John Wick films, talks about the show and how he had to metaphorically rip the spine out of the source material. Don't worry, we'll get back to that later, trust me. The important info to note right now is that the show will be taking place decades after the events of Blacklist, where he was around 65, and in 2019, when he was in Ghost Recon, he was around 68, meaning that this show takes place with Sam being at least 70 to 80 years old, which is pretty crazy considering some of the stuff that's already in the pre-release material.
Yeah, a few. I've heard they don't make them like me anymore. There was this other guy, though. Army infiltration. He wore a bandana or something.
I heard he finally retired.
Really?
Yep.
It's only me.
Another important thing to note is that Michael Ironside will no longer be Sam Fisher in this show, as it's being replaced by Liev Schreiber, which was pretty puzzling to me at first, because Michael Ironside has played Sam Fisher in recent years, including that appearance in Wildlands in 2019, but it's been known for a while that Michael Ironside has had health issues in the past, and that by his own admission, he is getting too old to play him, which is unfortunate, but reasonable considering his age.
Absolutely, there was no way I could. By the time I did by the time the sixth script came, there's no way I could do the physical animation. You know, for Christ's sakes, I'm 74 years old. You know, and Sam's supposed to be in his mid-30s, early 40s. And the fellow we handed it off to, the actor, made an absolute piece of shit out of it. He did a horrible job. They've done a 6-part miniseries that was shot in South Africa during the pandemic, and Liev Schreiber's playing Sam. And I think that's a fantastic choice. You know, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But no, I pretty well did what I wanted to do on that. I would have liked another check, of course, but they were very, very fair with their money.
The important thing is that Sam Fisher acts and sounds like himself, which is a huge issue in Blacklist and is a massive reason why so many people consider that to be his worst performance. With him sounding and acting like a generic white action hero.
If I wanted money, I'd break into a bank.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
And
he was a bit of an arrogant little prick.
According to Derek Kolstad, the main reason he chose Liev Schreiber is due to his performance as John Clark in Sum of All Fears, which if that's true, that's definitely a great sign, because it shows that Derek Kolstad is paying attention. It's showing that he's being very respectful of the classic Tom Clancy narratives. Now, originally I was gonna go step by step through the trailer and go over some key points, maybe point out some analysis bits, but considering when this video is gonna come out, kind of gonna be useless, and to be honest, it's not really my forte. I kind of leave that over to other people. But I do want to go over some of my takeaways from the trailer, and the rest of this video is gonna be dependent that you have seen the trailer. So I will link the trailer in the description down below. The animation in the show is a very mixed bag. It reminds me a lot of that Tomb Raider anime from a while ago. The show is obviously going for a more weighty and realistic art style, but some of the scenes just look really strange and off to me. Like for example, the running scene where the guy pushes Sam out of the building looks really uncanny. Like it was being rotoscoped in, and it didn't look natural. Plus, some of the character designs for the new characters do not really help the show at all.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
I think Diana and McKenna look alright, even though McKenna has that weird hairstyle that like no Splinter Cell would ever have. But Charlie and some of the fourth echelon guys that they introduced in the show are just so freaking weird.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
Like the noses in this show are really distracting. I also have some problems with the continuity of the show and what it could possibly mean if this show does become canon.
And may God have mercy on us all.
Then I have some general concerns with the show leaning too much into bombastic action, when Splinter Cell is typically a more contemplative, subtle, and slow type of series. I want to briefly go back into the article I went over earlier in this video, and focus on a specific line given by the director in regards to the development of the show. You have to rip the spine out of the source material, keep the brain and the heart, entertain the soul, and do your best to actually build it into something that works. Now, I think there are a few ways you can interpret this quote. The spine would be the shape of the franchise, let's say, the medium it's created for. Video games, anime, manga, or film, for example, are the mediums. And what he's saying is that since it's coming to a different medium than video games, that some stuff will ultimately change for the betterment of that medium. It doesn't need to be a one-to-one adaptation, as long as it gets the essence of the source material. Look at the Sonic movies as a good example of this mentality. The doomer way of looking at this quote is that it's an excuse to add whatever he wants to the source material to justify his artistic vision. Look at Adi Shankar and how he butchered Devil May Cry.
The way this usually goes is I do that, then drop a killer one-liner. But I'm drawing a complete blank right now. This never happens to me, I swear. Okay, wait, I got one. Pretend I just shot that guy. Bang! Man, Skeletor did not hold up since the 80s.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Only time will really tell, but I really hope it's not the latter. Adding more context and lore between Sam and Douglas is definitely the thing I'm most excited to see, as I do love their chemistry in Pandora Tomorrow and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
You still in one piece?
Where are the rest of the SEALs?
I'm working alone. Haven't been Navy for a decade.
I just really hope they tell a story that does Splinter Cell justice. I'll be back to review the show when it comes out in October, so for now, see you later, Fisherites!